Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Reds, your host of the Raiders Report. And today's live show is presented by our good friends over at Prize Picks. Get $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Just make sure that you use code HMA. So, Pop Toes, what's going on? LA Crash Dog, what's going on? I already saw a bunch of y'all getting this thing rocking and rolling. Isaac Hernandez in the building. Appreciate y'all. So what we're going to be talking about here on today's show is the Raiders made some roster moves yesterday. I literally just dropped the video on the YouTube channel, so if you didn't see me kind of get into the nuts and bolts of that, I'll kind of break it all down for you here in a little bit. Then, also on the program, there is a topic that I've had so many people reach out to me about in regards to Fernando Mendoza, and I said, all right, I'm just going to talk about it. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on Mendoza, but I want y'all to know I support Fernando, and I support all the decisions that he's making as our Raiders quarterback. On top of that, I saw some stuff around Ashton Jeanty, Brock Bowers. We'll talk about it. And then, because the NFL schedule release is going to be on Thursday, and if you do not know, I will be live here on the Raiders Report tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, but I'm going to be here on Thursday for that NFL schedule release. And you know, we were kind of talking about it in the Chat Sports bullpen area, and somebody was like, well, what do you think would be like the perfect Raiders schedule? And I was like, all right, shit, man, I think I'm going to turn that into a video. So I'm going to give you the reasons why I got a perfect Raiders schedule, and obviously I'm just shooting my shot here. You can let me know whether you like it, whether you don't. If you want to let me know who you want the Raiders to play in Week 1. It's basically how I started the entire show out. And as always, if you want to get in our Venmo duck race, 50-50 raffle at Mitchell Renz 365. Let's go to my guy Sherlock. What up, nation? How are we doing today? Sherlock, honestly, dude, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. I love your shirts. I always say it, though. I did just get my brand new 2026 draft class shirt. I was talking to Lord Cameron Abbott over the weekend, and I don't know if y'all saw our Friday happy hour show, but we were trying to send some good vibes to him and his family and his brother. I talked to Cam yesterday, and he was telling me that his brother, he's luckily getting taken out from the hospital, so that really made me happy. So honestly, dude, I'm doing really, really solid today. Isaac Hernandez throwing one up there right off the jump. Let's freaking go, dude. You know, this time of the off season, I love this time of the year because I get to know all of y'all so much better. And I say that because if you're watching the Raiders Report in May, June, July, you know, like that's the definition of a real one. And, you know, I like jokingly, I'm like, man, you guys got to find better hobbies to do. You got to be able to find something else to do in the off season. But, you know, I truly recognize people this time of the year because, you know, I mean, every Raider fan for the most part shows up in August, September, October, November, hopefully November and December this year. But like Isaac, you've been a real one here for a really, really long time, man. I saw this pop up when Lopez and I were like going over the graphics to the show. And let's freaking go, dude. You hype me the F up. I'll tell you that right now. Pop Toes, first ever $3 super chat. Nation, please pray for my family. We lost my aunt. Dude, I'm really, really sorry if you're lost, Pop Toes. I'm always blown away when people share stories like this, and then, you know, you see Sherlock Raider coming in, prayers to Pop Toes. I'm sorry, bro. I got a gigantic family, and my dad's the oldest of 6. My mom's the youngest of 9, so a lot of my aunts and uncles are really, really close to me, and I am really sorry for your loss. Gutierrez, what's going on, man? Am I the only one that thinks Kirko is about to ball out? I don't think that you're the only one that thinks that Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. Ball out, like, what is ball out for Kirk? Like, if he played all 17 games and he balled out, to me, that's like 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, somewhere around that 4,000-yard mark. But the INTs got to be much, much lower. And, I don't think it's so much to do with Kirk. It's just the Kirk Cousins level of excitement for me. There's excitement. It's here. The Fernando Mendoza level of excitement, you can't even see how high it is up there, but it's up there. And because the Mendoza excitement is there, I think it's just kind of leveled out the Kirk excitement. We know what Kirk Cousins is. You don't know what Fernando Mendoza is. And we are going to be doing a live Madden watch party tomorrow. Kirk Cousins up against Fernando Mendoza. I plan on going live here on this channel at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And the winner of that game will be our Raiders starting quarterback for Madden. So that's going to be interesting. JMC, what's going on, dude? Mitch, if the Raiders were offered a first-round pick for JPJ, would you do it? And would you crash out if it happened like you said yesterday? If we got offered a first-round pick, I would be pissed off if the Raiders didn't accept that trade. And, again, I love JPJ. I think he is all the things that I'm looking for in terms of a rebuild going forward. But, again, if you're telling me I get a first-round pick for Jackson Powers-Johnson, I'm going to take that in the 2027 NFL draft. And that's, again, nothing against JPJ, but I think all 32 NFL teams would end up doing it. I think the conversation for me really starts to happen right around that third-round pick, and I don't think that there would be an NFL team that would give you a third, but would I crash out if the Raiders traded JPJ? Yes, I would. That's because you're not going to get a first, a second, or a third-round pick if you end up moving on from him. First-round pick sounds great. Number one pick. Maybe even better. Number one fantasy sports app out there. They're sponsoring the Raiders Report, and type me down below if you're excited for tonight's basketball game, because I know LA Crash Dog. I was actually talking to Coop this morning with you with that Lakers game. I was really hoping the Lakers at least took it to Game 5, but OKC's just too good of a team. Shout out to Sherlock again, Pop Toes for spamming prize picks down below. But if anybody plans on watching that Spurs game tonight, anybody plans on watching the Timberwolves game tonight, hey, man, get a freaking lineup in. Use code HMA. You're going to get $50 instantly in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. And I'm not even the biggest basketball fan, but my wife, she's going to be out with the girls tonight, which means Chuck and I, we're going to get many hours to ourselves, which usually means him and I are going to be watching some hoops action. And if I'm watching hoops action, I always get my prize picks lineups in because I want something that I can root for. I want something that, fires me the F up here a little bit. So the lineup that y'all are about to see, is this your lineup? Oh, all right, you got to get your mic on. Hang on a second. All right, so Lopez throws up this lineup here. Talk to me. Why? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? If you're going to throw up a lineup, I at least got to hear the why.
Dude, this lineup is so goated, by the way.
All right, tell me why.
Okay, first of all, Angel Reese, 13.5 rebounds. She's playing in Dallas tonight.
Okay.
Spamming the more. It's a demon pick.
Okay.
So, higher payout there.
I like it. Hey, I'm all aboard on the Angel Reese rebound train. So let's now go to the Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards, give me the less on his points. This was before they had a Taco Tuesday deal.
Okay.
So it was at 26.
Oh, is there a Taco Tuesday now on Anthony Edwards?
21.5 right now for his Taco Tuesday. I did this before that. I didn't think he's getting 26.5, so I took the less. And then give me Victor Wembanyama over 27.5 points. He got to rest basically all the last game. He's coming back with a vengeance. He might drop 30.
So what, this is 10 to win 67.50? I'll say this right now. The reason why I love prize picks, and I'm not trying to take anything away from women's basketball, I'm probably not ever going to watch a women's basketball game unless it's like March Madness and I need a certain game to win, or I do. I love watching Caitlin Clark, though I did really enjoy watching Angel at LSU. I love the tenacity that she brought, but prize picks is going to make me watch Angel Reese, and it's going to make me want her to get a bunch of rebounds. I love this lineup for you.
13.5 could be her in the first quarter.
Well, when I first saw it pop up on screen, I'm like, does that say Angel Reese on it? And I saw
Hell yeah.
Well, because before the show started, I was telling Nick, I was like, we can go to one of my prize picks lineups, or if you have one, you can go to it. So he just threw his right up there, and I'm like, well, wait a minute here.
You're like, wait.
Why do we have Angel Reese? I mean, that's freaking legit. But shout out to Big Raz. Shout out to Sean Grady, Doppler. And you know what? If you want to rock, put your money where your mouth is. Go download the Prize Picks app today with the link that you're going to see down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. And if you want to roll with Nick Lopez on the more on Angel Reese rebounds, I love that you did that. I didn't even know you did that. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Let's get into some of the other super chats that are rolling in. I got a lot of questions for you guys here on today's show. Great news, LCA. We will continue to send prayers. I won't tell you again exactly what Cam and I were talking about. However, though, he did tell me that my brother's out of the hospital, and he said the final thing that he sent me was, I have to think it's the prayers you brought us, so thank you. And, and I was talking to Cam the other day about it. He was like, make sure the next time I'm live, I tell Raider Nation, thank you so much, because him, his family, his brother, again, I don't know if anybody's ever dealt with any of the health issues, but I am a big believer when your spirits are high, when you're smiling, the good vibes are rolling, and, you got to be able to take your mind off of things, which Friday there was a lot of good vibes flowing.
I was a little disappointed I got to miss Margarita Friday.
Margarita Friday absolutely kicked my ass. And then the next day, our boss, James, he had this little pool party get-together. We just hired some new guys here at Chat Sports. And, we were playing some pool basketball, but his wife made margaritas. And I love margaritas. It's just one of those things, in my mind, if my boss's wife makes something, I don't care if it's food.
Have to have it.
I don't care if it's it's something. I got to try it. I got to have it. I want them to know, I appreciate them for hosting us. When I saw her bring out margaritas, and James's wife is, notorious for making strong margaritas, and she did not disappoint yet again. They were good margaritas, but I'm not going to lie to you, man. I started pouring it, and I was like, man, I don't know if I can do it.
He was like, I'm going to have one.
Yeah, one, though, that turned into, 2 or 3, because then what I ended up doing, which was kind of interesting, I ended up taking the margarita, and then Moose brought those, flavored Coronas.
Oh, I was drinking those.
And I basically poured the flavored Corona in the margarita. In my mind, I was like, I love micheladas and stuff like that. So I was like, margarita with a little bit of Corona in it. It was freaking good. Caleb, rewatched the Natty today. So emotional and great. Yeah, what's funny to me, I was having this conversation the other day with a Raiders fan. When I say the other day, that could be from now, and that could be in the last 4 months. But I was having a conversation with a Raiders fan. Honestly, it's probably right around March time. And I said it blew my mind how excited I got from watching the Super Bowl, watching the national championship game, because it was you felt like you were kind of a part of it. You're like, that's going to be our next head coach. That's going to be our future quarterback. But, to anybody out there that's doubting Fernando Mendoza, just go watch him in the biggest games ever. Though Dan Orlovsky might say, what big games has Mendoza ever played in?
Those big games don't count.
Those big games don't count.
That one doesn't count.
I guess also the game where Indiana won 38-3 against Ty Simpson. Maybe he missed that one as well.
Count.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count. We do have a few more Super Chats to get to here in just a moment. But since one of the shows that I'm going to be doing today, and probably the biggest news going on in the NFL right now, is the fact that the NFL schedule is going to be getting released. Also, other random news that just came out, Bengals versus Falcons in Madrid, Spain, Week 9. So the Madrid-Spain game, Bengals-Falcons in Week 9. Interesting.
It's that time of the year the international games are going to start coming out. Are the Raiders rumored to have one?
So the only game I think the Raiders have a chance to be international for,
Mexico,
I believe, is the game against the Niners in Mexico. However, I talked to a really good source when I was out at the Super Bowl in the Bay Area that basically told me, it's Raiders are going to be playing in the Bay against San Francisco. Now, a lot of things can change. Money talks, and, there was a lot of rumors that some of those games could have potentially, or the NFL schedule is going to get pushed back a week. But based on the person that I talked to out in the Bay during Super Bowl week, they made it pretty damn clear to me that the Raiders are going to be playing in the Bay again against the San Francisco 49ers. So I believe it's that game. And then, the Saints, they play in Paris.
Saints play in Paris. That gets released tomorrow at 8 a.m.
So I think that there might also technically be a shot that the Raiders are in that game. But
the rumors months ago were the Browns. It was Saints-Browns.
Is that game home or away for the Saints?
It's a home game for the Saints. And I know the Raiders play in New Orleans. So
okay,
technically, they could be it, but the rumors months ago were the Browns. So my money would be on the Browns at the moment.
I got you. Yeah, I was going to say, because I'm under the impression the Raiders don't have any international games this year, because I was thinking it was either the Saints game or it was the game against the 49ers in Mexico. But, again, the person I talked to at Super Bowl, they made it pretty clear to me. They're like, they want Raiders-Niners in the Bay. Mm-hmm. That's how I understood it. But, hey, man, let me know down below. Who do you want the Raiders to play Week 1? Because coming up here on the show, I'm going to be telling all y'all who I want the Raiders to be playing week 1, I will say this based on some of the early rumors. The game that I've heard some rumors around for the Raiders week 1, it scares me. It's the Buffalo Bills. I've heard some Buffalo Bills Raiders week 1 rumors.
I thought Buffalo was that Sunday night game. I thought they were opening. I thought that got announced yesterday. Am I wrong? I saw they announced that their home opener. Was that not the same weekend?
Maybe I'm tripping then. Hang on. I'll look here. I'll look. Because our Bills guy, he kept like saying to me, "Oh, I've been hearing Raiders, Bills, Raiders, Bills." Let me look. I'm pulling up our chat sports link that we have. I mean, that would see to me. Somebody just said the Ravens. I mean,
yeah, I am a week off. Bills Lions opens up their new stadium on September 17th.
That's Thursday night football.
Week 2, huh?
Thursday night football. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a later start this year, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, but that is week 2. So then,
I am under the impression
I guess they could open up against the Bills.
Based on some of the rumors that we've been hearing, I've been hearing a lot of the Bills. You guys will see who I have in my perfect Raiders schedule, but I see Rebel says the Miami Dolphins. We got Chargers would be an interesting one. Raiders versus Jets, LOL, week 1. See, the only reason why I actually don't want the Raiders to play the Jets Live Oak is because I saw Geno Smith week 1 last year.
I don't want to see it again.
I mean, that was the best Geno looked all year. So in my mind, I'm like, Geno could be really good again week 1, and then you see what he's going to do. You make the proper adjustments, and then you kind of go forward from there on out. But yeah, I don't really want to play Geno week 1 because I saw what Geno was last year. Let's go to Woody BVN. Is this Plank?
Dude. What if I told you?
I mean, I'll tell you this, Woody. That's unbelievable. I don't know if you guys can see Lopez's shirt, but that's Ed, and Eddie. Plank, I mean, that's elite.
That's amazing. Woody,
Raiders versus Rams. Be there, Mitch. You owe me 3 rounds of drinks. Oh, boy.
A lot of drinks.
I'm hoping that I get the opportunity to go to a Raiders game this year. You know, the hard part about what I do is I want to be able to be live for every single Raiders game day. And it's not that I don't want to be able to go to games, but I also know back in 2019 during COVID, like a big part of like how we grew as a company here was, I was going live in my bedroom because I was like, shit, like I would love to be able to go to games. How can I bring game day mentality to everybody that can't actually physically go to the games? But there is somebody who I've been talking to that's really been trying to get me to go to some football games this upcoming year. To say that I won't do it, that's not true. It's just I also then need somebody to cover Raiders Report live here on YouTube. So, Woody, how about this? We'll switch. I'll go to the game. You host the Raiders Report. But then I can't get you any drinks. So we got plenty of drinks here. What up, Shy Guy? New pick, it looks like. I seen something that we got Buffalo at home in week 1. What do you think? There's been a lot of rumors around that. I personally don't really want to open up against Buffalo, and that's only because I do think that the Bills are one of the best teams in the National Football League. You got Josh Allen there, and that's always a tough matchup. But in the exact same breath, you got a first-time head coach in Joe Brady going up against our first-time head coach and Clint Kubiak. So, like, anything can happen in those first games. But also, there's a time of the year where I want to play Josh Allen and the Bills because there's a certain time of the year that Josh Allen teams struggle. So because of that, you'll see it on my perfect schedule prediction here for the Raiders. But again, whoever the hell the Raiders play, it's going to be week 1. I'm going to be fired up. I'm going to be ready to go, and I can't wait for it to happen. And we saw it last year. You can beat anybody, right? The Raiders literally beat the AFC champions, the team that lost in the Super Bowl. Anything can happen week 1. Paul Diamond, what's going on, brother? Hey, Mitch, I saw someone say the Raiders play the Jets at MetLife week 12. Do you know if that is true? So based on everything that I'm looking at right now, there is going to be leaks. There's going to be rumors. It's going to be that. But based on right now, no, there are nothing locked in for the Raiders in terms of the games that they're going to be having. And you'll start to see more and more NFL leaks I always try to do my best here. We have a guy at Chat Sports. He puts a jigsaw puzzle together of all these like teams that are playing and their schedule. Like I remember like 2 years ago, again, Tom's one of the best in the biz, but Tom was literally like, he was able to like put the entire like schedule for every NFL team together and slapped it. And I remember I had like a video out hours before the Raiders' actual schedule came out. And here's the thing, like, you know, the official schedule release is at, 8 p.m.? 8 p.m. on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. I guarantee you I'll have a video out about the Raiders' schedule hours before that. Hours before it. Now, I always like to see the schedule release videos. I think they're always a cool thing to do. But, Big Raz, you deserve to go to a game. Thank you, man. I would love to be able to go to a game. I would love to be able to tailgate. It's just, and I think people also got to understand, like, this is my job. This is my responsibility. And I think, you know, if I looked at you and I said, hey, like, what do you think's the biggest and most important work day for you? Can you call off that day? It's just, it's a little bit difficult. But I'm hoping that I can go to a Raiders game this upcoming season, no doubt about it. If you don't know today's deals, we're keeping it very simple because tomorrow, going to be a crazy deal day. Thursday, going to be a crazy deal day. Friday, man, if you don't already know, happy hour, it's always a crazy deal day. So today we're keeping it very simple. If you want to bang on the show, or if somebody's trying to throw down Isaac Hernandez's alley-oop, I hope it doesn't just sit up there forever. If you want to get in our duck race, though, $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. And if you're trying to get your questions, your comments up on the program, super chat to skip the line and get up here and let's talk a little bit. I'm looking on my phone right now to see if anybody has gotten it in. Excuse me. And I see Jaime. Jaime is the first one. Portillo. What up, Jaime Portillo? I also saw down below Sherlock, Ezekiel, Jack Kenna. It's good to see you, man. Thumper World, what's up? Live Oak, Big Raz, Azul Alex, Javit, is that pronounced right? Javier Youngblood. Oh, my God, it's Javier Youngblood. Sorry, I wish they would go back to the old names. Big Raz is here in the building. Nocturne Raider, what's up? And then Celtic Raider. I don't know if you saw, I saw your comment that you put in on one of my shows recently, and I had it featured. I believe it was the video that either went out this morning or the video that I put out yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw what you had to say about your mom and, you know, like wanting to see her again, hug her again. So I saw that. I thought it was really sentimental, and I put it on the show. I didn't know if you saw it, but it is on one of my last. It was either the video that went out this morning or the video that went out yesterday afternoon. So for those of you that do not know, we got a big game here on the Raiders Report tomorrow. Raiders up against, you guessed it, the Las Vegas Raiders. So no matter what, the Raiders will get a dub tomorrow, and I'm going to be live at 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be Fernando Mendoza versus Kirk Cousins. The winner of that game is going to be the Raiders starting quarterback for our 2026 Madden season. And, you know, every year that I do Madden, what I'm about to say is going to be funny, but every year when I do my Madden simulations, I try to make it, you know, as real as humanly possible. And a few years ago, people got mad at me because I was like, I think Gardner Minshew is going to be the week one starting quarterback over Aiden O'Connell. So what did we do? We started Gardner Minshew, and then about halfway through the year, people were like, well, hey, can you put in AOC? And then we ended up putting in AOC. So what I decided this time, because I think if I were to ask most people, I think most people are going to say Mendoza. But then in the same breath, you know, there's a part of me that thinks if you were to ask me right now who I think the Raiders starting quarterback would be, I'd probably say it's Kirk Cousins because they brought him in for a reason. So I just said, you know what, man? Let's let Madden decide it. So what I want to know from all of y'all is this. Who do you got tomorrow? Are you going to go with the Raiders, led by Fernando Mendoza, type 15? Or are you going to go with the Raiders, led by Kirk Cousins, type 8? And when I think who you got, I want you to answer this as honestly, like, who do you think is going to win? Like, who do you honestly think is going to win tomorrow in our Madden live simulation game where we just updated the rosters? I saw this morning, we just brought in the PS5. We don't have the new Madden because it's not out yet, so it's technically last year's Madden game. We just updated the rosters, but The teams are the same. The only difference is Fernando Mendoza and Kirk Cousins are out there playing quarterback. I heard some yelling and screaming.
Dude, they had some good games.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know who won. I don't want to know how the game went. I heard some hooting and hollering, so I'm guessing that it's going to be a good game.
Come back tomorrow.
We'll have to.
Come back tomorrow. It was a hell of a game.
So the way our bullpen area works here at Chat Sports is I'm in one area, Lopez is like in another area, and where the other area is where we have this like a big TV set up like, with our PS5 and our video game over there. So I was like, all right, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be anywhere close to it. But I heard it was a good game. So we'll see. Rebel said 8 because there's no stats. What do you mean there's no stats? We actually do keep stats from time to time during the season. Drop Top Blazer spamming 12. I'll promise you this. It's not going to be Aiden.
Unless.
There's no way it can
You didn't see what happened at halftime.
Oh, true.
You didn't see what happened.
So actually, the Raiders benched Mendoza and Cousins, and it was just Aiden O'Connell against Aiden O'Connell in the second
And they were
half.
like, man, this guy's pretty good.
They're like, this is unbelievable. Oh, wow. Celtic Raiders. So that is interesting that it wasn't me. There's another Celtic Raider? That blows my mind then, man. I am blown away by that. Because I saw it and I was like, oh, that's Celtic Raider. That's interesting. I don't know, dude. Sorry.
Someone's impersonating. You should probably figure that one out.
That's wild. That is wild. Also, the Monday Night Football game, Week 1, we have an update. It's Broncos at Chiefs. So we knew that it was a Monday night game, Broncos-Chiefs. We just didn't know if Broncos were going to be home or Kansas City was going to be home. Broncos at Kansas City, Week 1, Monday Night Football. I'll say I'm probably going to be live for that game. I'm going to tell you all that right now because I'll be live for, obviously, the Raiders Week 1 Sunday game. I'll probably be live as well. Like, shit, man. I always go live for the Thursday night games, but I also always go live for the first game of the year. So, honestly, that Week 1, I'll probably be live on that Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday.
They probably got a game that Friday, too.
Do they have a game that Friday?
Because I know Wednesday is Seahawks in Seattle. Then Thursday is an international game. But is there like the Brazil game that Friday?
I think you're right. Because I think it's the Eagles, right?
I don't remember who's in the Brazil game.
So right now all they have is they have 49ers Rams in there. I do think that there is a game, though, now that you say that. I do think that there is a game on that Friday. I mean, who do you guys even want to win that Week 1 game? Broncos or Chiefs? Is it crazy that, like, I probably would root for, if I could root for a tie, I'd root for a tie. But
I think if you're looking at who's the better team and who you probably
I probably would root for Denver to beat Kansas City.
I think it would be the other way. I think Denver has the more well-rounded roster.
Oh, I agree with that.
Kansas City just has Mahomes.
I
think the Raiders would have a better chance of beating Mahomes by himself, basically, than the entire Broncos roster. They're just so good.
Well, it's also really interesting about that matchup is you have Mahomes coming off his ACL, and then you have Bo Nix coming off his ankle.
Yeah.
So, I probably would want both teams to lose, no doubt about it. It'll be a tie from Big Raz. Big Raz, I promise y'all this right now. If that Week 1 Monday Night Football game between the Broncos and the Chiefs ends in a tie, I hope y'all are ready to party until Tuesday. Because that'd be a hell of a way to get the year going. Especially if the Raiders win that Week 1 game.
They'll be at the top of the division.
Top of the division. That sounds pretty darn good to me. Though, we were also top of the division last year.
But Broncos-Chiefs didn't tie in Week 1 last year either.
It's very true. It's very, very true. Doppler says, can't root for either. No, truthfully, man, I won't root for either team. It's just, it's that first week back when you don't have any football for the whole off season. And I love college football. Even the preseason's a lot of fun. But then when you get back into the swing of things yet again, it's
a different feeling.
You
wake up on Sundays, you're happier, you got a little more juice in your stuff, you're feeling good.
Dude, I'll tell you this. Sundays in September for me, I love it.
Yeah.
Sundays, October, November. It's been a rough. Sundays in October, November, December the past few years have been a little bit more challenging. Raider Tone, how are you basing Mendoza's rating on Madden using the NCAA 26 rating? So Raider Tone, literally what I did was Chugs updated the roster. So essentially, again, I don't play video games, so I am under the impression we have an updated roster. So essentially what happens is it's all the players that the Raiders drafted. I also Charles Snowden was on the team, so I took Charles Snowden off, and then I made him Kean Sloan. I basically just changed his number, did change the appearance since they do look different. But, those are the adjustments that I made. In terms of the rating, whatever the rating is, that's what the rating is. And then there's another feature where you can go in and switch up the depth charts and stuff like that. So I tried to do that to the best of my ability as well. But whatever the rating is, I'm letting it freaking go, man. I'm letting it cook. So I actually don't remember what the rating was for Mendoza. I think Kirk was rated higher than Fernando, but we'll see. I can't wait for the game tomorrow, man. Truthfully, and again, if you don't know what we're talking about, Mendoza, Kirk Cousins, live on the Raiders Report tomorrow in a Madden simulation. It's going to be electric. Angela Sherlock, I just saw that you got in for our duck race, $20 Venmo. We will do it at the very, very end of today's program. Very, very end of today's program. Also, shout out to Shane Robinson, who actually just got the shirt that I'm rocking right now. And if anybody, again, wants the shirt that I have on right now, if you go to chatsports.com/RRshop, I can put that link, or Lopez and I can put that link for you guys down in the comments section. It's actually also already in the description of today's video. So if anybody wants to get the shirt that I have on, you can do so at chatsports.com/RRshop. And actually, I actually just got these as well.
Your pint glasses came in?
I'm trying to save them because this one to me, I was like, all right, this is a good Tuesday glass. Because then I have the other one that's just came here to bang. That's a Friday happy hour glass. I'm gonna have to get one for Madden because I have a one glass that I signed, and then there's the Just Win Baby on there. But cheers to all y'all. If you ever see me rocking anything from here on out, I mean, it's stuff that I have
on chatsports.com/RRshop.
Yep. I mean, oftentimes I'll be like, Mitch, where'd you get that shirt? Mitch, where'd you get that? Blah, blah, blah. Chatsports.com/RRshop is where I get my Raiders Report gear. So, first segment that I got coming up here on the show today is we got some rumors and we got some news, and I have battled this in my mind for probably about 2-3 days now. And it's probably even longer than that. I had so many people ask me, Mitch, are you going to talk about Fernando Mendoza? Are you going to talk about the White House? Are you going to talk about Trump? All that type of stuff. I think for anybody that watches this show and that knows me personally, I don't really like to get into politics because I think it divides people, where I'm very big on hey, let's bring everybody together. But also at the same time, it's probably one of the biggest talking points right now around the world, around the Raiders. And I do want people to know I will talk about top trending topics because at the end of the day, I want people to know where I stand. I want people to know what I think, and I'm not afraid to ever give my opinion on any topic that's Raiders related. So I will talk about it. Also, we're going to talk about Jeanty. We're going to talk about Brock Bowers, and then I'm going to try to give you guys my perfect Raiders schedule for the 2026 season. So we will get into all of that. Where did you get those rumors? I get them around the internet. You'll see. I mean, I got the Bowers and Jeanty ones are from ESPN. Again, I'm not just going to pick anybody. It's got to be people that probably you guys know or also just respected publication sites, if that makes sense. Raiders 47, what did I miss? I'd say the biggest thing that we talked about today is the Raiders signing Cameron McGrone yesterday, moving on from Brendan Rice. Also, we're going live tomorrow for a Madden watch party. Mendoza up against Kirk Cousins, and I think that's going to be pretty interesting. If you didn't see the video that I dropped earlier today, it was the fact of the Raiders signing Cameron McGrone, and if you're like, who the hell is Cameron McGrone? He was a linebacker, played last season for the Browns, also played multiple years with I believe it was the Indianapolis Colts, the New England Patriots as well, but was a 5th-round pick, 177 overall in the 2021 NFL Draft. He's a good athlete, had an ACL tear in 2020, which I think zapped him a little bit of his athletic ability, but really just a special teams type of player. Michigan ties, known for being a hard worker, but I kind of go through a whole breakdown on a video that literally I dropped probably about an hour ago at this point. And then the Raiders, because you're only allowed to have 91 players on the roster. You're allowed to have 91 because we have Laki Tassi, International Pathway Program player. If you add somebody, you got to move on from a player, and the player that the Raiders decided to cut was a Jerry Rice son, Brendan Rice, hasta la vista. Rebel, Tex Marsh, we got a 3-point goal. He knows about it.
Wrong one.
Oh, okay. I'm donating this broom Jug sent me. Yeah, the Lakers series was a tough one, but at the same time, like, I am not shocked at all of the outcome. Like, I think all of us, if you would have told me that Luka Doncic isn't going to play up against OKC, and again, like, and even in the game yesterday, and you're a Lakers fan, you have to admit, did you really think that they were going to win that game? I just felt like when OKC wanted to turn it on, they were just able to do it so easily.
I thought if the Lakers did win yesterday, it would have been like one of those things that just, it's not sustainable. Jackson Hayes isn't going to give you almost 20 points every game.
Yep.
Chet Holmgren's not going to be held to like 12 points. Like, it wasn't a winning formula. It might have gotten the job done last night. It almost did.
Yeah.
But you couldn't finish it. Even if it went to overtime, I don't know if we're winning in overtime.
I agree. I mean, the way that series honestly looked for me was the Lakers hung with them, and if not, probably played better than them in the first half.
Oh, first half, the Lakers were great.
They just didn't have the depth, and they got tired. You get burnt out, and that's where OKC really just kind of puts it to you. But again, they have way more depth than the Lakers, and the Lakers didn't have their best player, Luka Doncic. But yeah, the brooms came out, Rebel. The brooms came out. Though, I mean, you look at that Knicks series, brooms came out. Like, I think it's more embarrassing for the Sixers to get swept than the Lakers, and I don't even think it's close.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, nobody was picking the Lakers to get past 5 games.
I agree with that.
Yeah, nobody was picking the Lakers.
If they would have won a single game at home, I mean, let's be real. They would have went back to Game 5 in OKC, and I bet you that game would have ended with 30-point blowout.
I think that's how I think that one would have been. It would have been bad. It wouldn't have been close.
It would have been a brutal, brutal game.
It's all right. We'll have a fun offseason now.
Yeah? Do you think he's back? Do you think LeBron's coming back?
I think LeBron can't come back. I think
can't?
In the Lakers' best interest.
Okay, talk to me.
Time has passed. You need that $50 million. You need to clear it off the books. If he wants to come back for like a mid-level exception type thing or a vet min, then we could talk. But Austin Reeves is due for a contract. He is part of the future with Luka Doncic. You need to sign some other guys to complement Luka's game. You need a bunch of 3-and-D wings. You're looking for a center still because you don't have one of those.
Yeah.
Haven't had one of those in a while. So there's just so many holes in the roster. And
who's the center now for him?
DeAndre Ayton. But the reports are he is going to opt out of his player option in hopes of getting a bigger payday. Which, if I'm his financial advisor, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You sucked in the playoffs.
I mean, I think Ayton's one of those guys, again, like when he first came out of Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 overall pick. I mean, he just can't really do anything. I don't know. I think he's definitely been a first overall pick bust.
I don't know if he loves the game.
That's probably fair.
I don't know if he's fully dedicated.
I don't know if it's as bad of a financial decision as Schroeder or whatever the hell his name is. But
Schroeder, yeah. When he
turned down $84 million.
That was from the Lakers. Hey, you know what? Best thing that could have ever happened.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, that's an all-time flop. That's probably, you think that's the worst bag fumble?
100%.
Yeah?
100%. And at least in the recent time.
Like I can't think of another bag fumble like that because I mean he had to lose $70 million.
Yeah.
I forget again. I don't follow the NBA like I do football, but I remember all of our guys like talking about it when it happened. They were like, "No, they turned down 84 to basically get less than 10." That's a tough look. That's a tough look.
Schroeder
for that
still gets clowned in the NBA about that.
Yeah. Ayton went before Luka from Husker Raider.
He did. I think that's another reason why people are so like harsh on Ayton because that draft class was really good.
Yeah.
And it's just you went number 1 and you didn't live up to the guys that were drafted behind you.
No, I can remember that draft because that was like one of the very first years that I was working here at Chat Sports. And we had another guy who covered the NBA at the time. Shout out to my dude, Harris Rubenstein. And he was very much like, he loved Luka. Like, I mean, he loved him. And he's like, you just don't see young players like shoot, handle the ball, just move the way that he does.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think Luka, again, I watched Luka when he was here with the Mavs. When he wants to play and when he's motivated and he's got his mind right, I think he's top 5 player in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
When he's very unmotivated, and I don't know, like, if he's in the best shape sometimes. But
he has fixed that at least. He has slimmed down a lot.
Yeah. I also think, like, European culture is a lot different than American
100%.
culture. Like, I mean, like, I only lived in Germany for a year, but, I mean, dude, like, drinking and smoking is, like, part of European culture. And if I'm wrong in saying that, yell at me, but it is what it is. All right, we're done talking about the Lakers. Reminder, if anybody's trying to get in this duck race, I see Richard Engel is in. My guy Philip Bogert always down for a duck race. $20 Venmo. Mitchell Renz, 365. Let's talk about the Raiders because that's why y'all are here today. Chance to win is up to $40 right now in our 50-50 raffle. Raiders 47 says, yes, you're right. And okay, Mitch. I appreciate that. Again, like I love talking sports. I don't know other sports like I do football or like the Raiders at this point, but this isn't even a Prize Picks read. Like, truthfully, I can't wait tonight to go home and watch a good basketball game. I can't wait to go home tonight and watch a good basketball game. And maybe that's because Alex typically dominates our TV and she's not home tonight. But
so I get to watch all the sports I want.
Well, it's like usually she's got the living room TV, and then I have like our upstairs TV, and because again we have like a little roof area, and Chuck loves to go outside. I like to be outside. I'd much rather be outside since I'm inside all day. But Alex, she'll be the one. She'll watch whatever she wants to watch downstairs, and today there's gonna be some basketball on.
Like, I get the big TV today.
I get the real TV today. And I'm excited about it. All right, y'all. So coming up, we're going to talk about Fernando Mendoza. We're going to talk about Ashton Jeanty. We're going to talk about Brock Bowers. And then I'm going to give you guys my perfect Raiders schedule here live on the show presented by Prize Picks. So I don't think – is this a cold open? No. Okay, cool. I think we're ready to rock. So first segment coming up here on the show. I got 2 segments on tap for all y'all out there. And does anybody plan on hanging out with me tomorrow for our Raiders Report watch party? Mendoza, Kirk Cousins. If you plan on hanging out with me tomorrow, type me so that way everybody knows that you're showing up. Yoda, watching hockey over the NBA, I can get on board with that. Like, I enjoy a good hockey game. I do. I love watching, like, third period of a hockey game. If it's close, it's electric. Absolutely. Truthfully, I don't know enough about hockey, so I don't get Prize Picks lineups in. And because I don't have a lineup, I just typically haven't watched it as much. But I've been trying to watch the Knights a little bit more. They had a hell of a game against the Ducks the other night.
Yeah.
Though the Ducks ended up winning that one, I believe. Because it was late.
Sure. I am not the biggest hockey guy either.
It was late. Like, I'll tell you this, I would much rather go to a live hockey game than a live basketball game. And I might be on but
live hockey games are fun. I'll give them that, but I got a soft spot for the NBA, live NBA game.
Like, I'd probably rather go to an NBA playoff game than an NHL playoff game. However, NHL regular season compared to NBA regular season, it's not close to me.
Yeah,
like it truly is not close. Though the only NHL game I went to this year, Max Crosby got retraded back to the Raiders, and that was an absolute shit show. So I might never go to a hockey game ever again. I might never go again. All right, fam. You guys ready? Let's break down today's show. We're going to talk about Fernando Mendoza and probably the biggest Mendoza news that everyone around the world is talking about. My job here is to give you guys my 2 cents on all things that are going on around the Raiders. And if you haven't heard what Fernando Mendoza in the White House, well, we're going to talk about it here on the program. You ready? You guys ready? Coming up, let's talk about the latest news and rumors around the Silver and Black. Coming up today here on the Raiders Report, presented by Prize Picks, Fernando Mendoza news. that the entire world is talking about. And then at the end of the show, I think ESPN, straight up, is sleeping on Brock Bowers, and they're sleeping on Ashton Jeanty, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. If you haven't seen the news that everybody in the world is talking about around Fernando Mendoza, and I want to be very clear, my job here as the host of the show is I'm going to talk about all the top trending topics because I want people to know what I think about these topics around the Raiders, around Mendoza, and if it has to do with the silver and black, I'm going to talk about it. So Indiana football, they visited the White House on Monday, May 11th. Fernando Mendoza was not there, but to be clear, he made it known very early on that he was not going to be going. So if you expected Mendoza to be there, you don't follow the news. Donald Trump said, I'm not happy, but that's okay. Kind of went on a whole spiel about that he obviously wanted Mendoza to be there. Again, I'm not the biggest politics guy, and that's not why I'm doing this video. I'm doing this video to let every person out there, whether you're a Raiders fan, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, if you breathe air, I want you to know this. I fully support Fernando Mendoza's decision to not go to the White House because at the end of the day, I care about the Raiders, and I care about what he's doing for this football team. And the fact that he's putting the Raiders first and he didn't want to miss practice, why are we looking at that as being a bad thing? The number one overall pick wants to be there for his team, and if your number one overall pick is showing that a random practice in the middle of May is that important to him, that's going to make every single other player on that team be like, you know what? That's the guy I want to go play for. That's the guy that's earning his shield, and if that guy's earning his shield, I got to go out there and I got to earn mine. So Mendoza knows, and I think at any point, an athlete's got to know what it takes to be great. And I think for a guy like Fernando, he's always so polished, and I bet you he thought about this for such a long time that I do really feel like in my heart of hearts, Fernando Mendoza is always going to do what's best for Fernando Mendoza. But that's also good because I think what Fernando Mendoza is going to do, what's best for Fernando, is also best for the Las Vegas Raiders. And, you know, I kind of rolled my eyes when I thought about doing this show because I don't want people to think I'm doing this to talk about politics. I don't like politics, and I'm not going to talk about politics. I really just wanted to sit up here and say to Fernando, to the Mendoza family, to anybody that's got a problem with how he handled things, I think it's because you're not following the actual news. Because Fernando Mendoza, on May 2nd, he let it be known very, very early on that he was not going to be going to the White House. This is exactly his quote. I'm on the bottom of the totem pole here. I got to prove myself. I can't miss practice. I don't know anything official. I don't have the calendar, but I just wouldn't. As a rookie, I don't think that that's a good look, and I want to try to best serve my teammates, and I don't know if that would be accomplishing that goal. And, here's the thing. Do I think it is an honor to go to the White House? Yes, I absolutely do. And you know what? I'm hoping that he gets another opportunity to go to the White House and the entire Raiders team is there with them, because if that happens, it means that we're winning a Super Bowl. So you know what? If you're upset that he didn't go, I'm hoping that we get another chance to go. I'm hoping that he goes, you know what? I'm so confident that we're going to be able to get there and go there again. And if you want that to happen, if you believe it can happen, I hope that you hit that like button. If you're upset about me talking about this topic, again, I just wanted it to be known that I have Fernando Mendoza's back, and I fully support his decision because I think him, as a grown man, he's shown me that he knows what's best for Fernando Mendoza, and I'm the type of person, I'm going to trust you until you give me a reason not to. And if Fernando Mendoza has given any of y'all out there a reason not to trust him, I think you're looking at this a little bit differently than the way you should be looking at it. Coming up next here on the show, let's talk about ESPN sleeping on Brock Bowers and sleeping on Ashton Jeanty. One of my buddies, Field Yates, I'm a big fantasy football guy. I saw something that he put out there, and I'm like, I don't know if Field and ESPN realize that the Raiders look a lot different this year than the way that they looked last year, and maybe you didn't see it, Field, but I'm going to tell you what you're missing here in just a little bit. And to make sure that you guys don't miss America's #1 fantasy sports app out there, shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show and being our sponsor on all of our programs moving forward. If you don't know, Prize Picks is easy, simple to play. You pick 2 to 6 players, and if you get your picks right, you can cash in. Sign up for Prize Picks with code HMA. You can see it up on your screen. It's available in all 50 states. You can pick winners, spreads, and totals. It's safe and secure, and you can get $50 in lineups instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. if you don't know where you could be playing or what games you could be looking at, like for me, I look at a lot of the basketball games. I look at a lot of the hockey games right now, but I really, really love being able to get some lineups in for a good basketball game. And I can't wait to watch the game tonight. Now, if you're watching this live, I don't know what happened here. If you're not watching this live, you're going to see whether or not my lineup was a success or not. But what I also wanted to show all of our audience members out there is the difference between a power play and a flex play. Power play, 5 to win, $23.75. If I were to do a flex play, it'd be 5 to win, $15. But if 2 out of those 3 ended up happening, I would end up getting my $5 back. I like this lineup a lot. If you want to roll with me, if you want to put your money where your mouth is, give me a follow on Prize Picks. I'm at Mitchell Rents 365. But this lineup is going to be available to all y'all down there in the comments, in the description of today's show. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. So to the crowd that's watching this live, obviously the Spurs and the Wolves, they play tonight. For the crowd that's going to be watching this video, maybe not live, it's going to be going out on a Wednesday, you're going to be talking about Cavs and Pistons later on that night. What I want to know from all the fans that are out there, what do you think the better series is? Is it Spurs versus Wolves? Is it Cavs versus Pistons? If you're really passionate and you plan on watching both of those games, go get a lineup over with Prize Picks. Let's keep it moving here on the program. And ESPN, they are, man. They're sleeping on Bowers. They're sleeping on Jeanty. And, you know, back in my day, when I say back in my day, back in 2016, it's crazy. That's already 10 years ago. I started a fantasy football podcast. And I was really, really passionate about fantasy football. It's really how I got into doing what I'm doing today. And I noticed Field Yates had Brock Bowers as his tight end 2, number 18 overall on his board, and then Ashton Jeanty as RB11, 21 overall. Do I think that both of those players deserve to be ranked in the top 25 for fantasy? Yes, absolutely. But I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of was rubbed the wrong way when I saw Brock not being tight end number 1 because he's a top 2 tight end. I agree with that, Field. But he ain't number 2. And this is why he is the number 1 tight end in football. And I know this is more from a fantasy football standpoint, but I also think from a fantasy football standpoint, Brock Bowers is the best tight end in the National Football League. Like, let's just compare rookie to second year. And we also have to keep in mind his second year, he was dealing with Geno Smith. He was dealing with a horrific coaching staff, a horrific offensive line, and then also he had some knee issues that he was dealing with the entire season. But like 17 games as a rookie compared to 12 games in that sophomore season. The yards are down, the receptions are down, the targets are down, but the touchdowns are up because I think what they realize is, well, if we're going to try to score, we got to try to score with Brock Bowers. And I anticipate that this Raiders offense is going to be much better. I also fully get the reason why Trey McBride is tight end number 1, and he's coming off an incredible season where he had 126 catches, 1,239 yards, and 11 touchdowns. But I also want you to look at the fact that Trey McBride, his first 2 years in the NFL, didn't really make that big of an impact. Now, his second year that he did, 81, 825, 3 touchdowns. But a lot of times tight ends, they take that second, third, fourth year to really make that jump. And I think for a guy like Brock Bowers, the difference that he's going to show the entire world of the difference between year 1, year 2 to year 3, and then when you put year 3 combined with a brand new head coach and play caller like Clint Kubiak, yeah, man, there's no doubt Bowers is going to be having a much, much better season. Like, truthfully, I think Brock Bowers is a borderline round 1 pick because of how talented of a player he is and how much Clint Kubiak is going to use him. Like, think about the way that Kubiak used somebody like Jackson Smith and Jigba. Are they same player? No, obviously not. But what made Kubiak and JSN so special is Kubiak did such a good job scheming ways open because you knew that they were going to target JSN, but it didn't matter because Kubiak did a good job scheming them to get open. How many times last season did we see where the Raiders just didn't target Brock? They just didn't, for whatever reason, want to feature the best player on the field. I'm telling you right now, when you think about the targets and the target share that's going to go around, Brock Bowers is going to get, I think, 10 targets a game. And if he's around 10 targets a game, he will be the number 1 tight end in the NFL. Let's go to the next reason here why Bowers is going to be tight end number 1. Whether it's Kirk Cousins or whether it's Fernando Mendoza, that's an upgrade. But if it's Kirk Cousins, throughout his career, Cousins has shown that he is somebody that likes to focus in on the tight end position, and Cousins even talked about it at his opening presser because he was joking that his wife's family, they're big-time Georgia fans, they watched a lot of Brock Bowers with the Bulldogs, and Kirk was obviously fired up about it. But then in the same breath, if it's Fernando Mendoza, a safety blanket for a rookie quarterback is always having a reliable, and I mean a very reliable, tight end. Hell, I'll even say this, if Aiden O'Connell was the Raiders quarterback, I know I'm just joking here, but like, truthfully, this is the best Raiders quarterback room, and whether it's Kirk or whether it's Fernando, I can confidently say to all y'all out there, Bowers is going to have a better season. His numbers are going to be better. This Raiders offense is going to be better overall because of the simple quarterback play combined with Clint Kubiak and combined with all the offseason adjustments that this team made, especially also on that offensive line. So if we're talking about Fernando and if we're talking about Kirk Cousins, I have a little bit of a question for you guys. And I say this because two reasons. One, this is going to be a quarterback debate that you're going to see all offseason long, whether it's May, June, July, rolling into the preseason. Who do you think is going to win that battle? Do you think it's going to be Mendoza? Type 15. Do you think it's going to be Kirk Cousins? I want you to type an 8 down below. What I'm about to say next might make you laugh, but I always try to do a Madden simulation season every offseason, and I always try to make it very, very realistic. But I don't know who's going to start. Like, me personally, I want to see Fernando Mendoza start for the Raiders. I do. It's the offseason. I would love to see it. But I also said to myself, well, if Kirk Cousins is the starting quarterback, I should probably start Kirk over Mendoza. So you know what I also said? F it. I'm going to let Madden do the deciding factor. We got a game live on the Raiders Report, May 13th. 3 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on. It's going to be one hell of a football game. I have no idea who wins, but if you're rooting for Mendoza, if you're rooting for Cousins, no matter what, the Raiders will win on Wednesday. So make sure you're pulling up to decide who's going to be our number one quarterback. Then, let's keep it going back here to Brock Bowers and him being tight end number one. He's going to be the number one target. And when you talk about the Raiders' moves this offseason, a move that's probably, not sitting well with some fans out there is our lack of wide receiver depth. And I hear you loud and clear. Do I have hope for Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor, and Jack Besh? Sure I do. Are any of these receivers true number ones? No, they are not. But then I also remember the year that Brock Bowers had as a rookie in 2024, where he had 153 targets. And I thought to myself, man, I wonder what's the most single-season tight end targets, and Bowers came in there in 2024 with 153. That's fifth most all-time. Now, Trey McBride last season did set a single-season record with 169. The problem is, though, I don't know who's going to be chucking the rock to Trey McBride. I have absolutely positively no idea. But with all due respect, I think Kirk Cousins, Fernando Mendoza will be the better quarterback than whoever the hell is throwing the rock to Trey McBride. So because of that, and because I do anticipate Bowers to see, I anticipate Bowers to get somewhere right around that 169, 170 target mark. They're going to be peppering him left and right because they should, quite frankly. Like, they should be drawing up plays every single week. How can I get Brock Bowers 10-plus targets a game? If your game plan isn't to get Brock Bowers 10-plus targets a game, I'll say I think it's personally probably a pretty shitty game plan overall. So because of that, he's going to be the tight end number one. Now, coming up next here on the program, I'm going to get into why I think ESPN is also, pretty low on Ashton Jeanty, and why I anticipate Jeanty's also going to have a top 10 running back season, whether you're looking at fantasy or whether you're talking about real football. Before I get into it, though, shout out to the 2026 draft class, but also shout out to John Spytek, Clint Kubiak, Tom Brady. This entire offseason feels completely different. Like, it really does. It feels completely different. I'm super fired up for the year. I'm so fired up just to do our Madden seasons again. But whether you're looking to get some T-shirts or whether you're trying to get some other Raiders Report swag, I'm actually drinking out of the same cup that you guys just saw on screen right now. Though mine's water. It'll be beer on Friday. That I'll guarantee it. Actually, it'll probably be that one. Just came here to bang on Friday. But whether you're looking for some hats, shirts, sweatshirts, coffee mugs, if you want some Raiders Report gear, it's chatsports.com/RR shop. And if you don't know, that link will be down in the comments. It'll be down in the description of today's program. All right, next thing coming up here on the show is Ashton Jeanty. So not only did ESPN say that he's a little bit lower on the totem pole in terms of, the overall rankings there. I think you also got to be able to sit back and think, well, where exactly does he stand amongst all the other running backs? In Field Yates' top 10 running backs were as follows. He had Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, and then Jeremiyah Love, who was selected number 3 overall. Ashton Jeanty was ranked number 11. I don't have a big problem with him ranking, Jeanty where he did. But then again, I do have a big problem with it because that means you're only basing it off of what you saw last season. And I think people that are really good at fantasy football, people that are just good at trying to project what's going to happen, is you have to ignore what you did last year. It's why I hate strength of schedule based on how teams did. It changes so much year to year. But, let's look at what is different about this year compared to last year with a guy like Jeanty. First thing you got to talk about is the O-line upgrade. The Raiders' offensive line, first off, you go from Brennan Carroll to now Rick Dennison. That's a massive upgrade. You get Tyler Linderbaum in the offseason, and whether it's going to be Jordan Meredith, JPJ, the fact that I don't have to worry about watching Alex Kappa or Will Putnam try to block this season is massive. And whether it's Charles Grant, whether it's DJ Glaze, the Raiders' offensive line is 100% going to be better. And I say that because I don't think it could be freaking worse, man. And I really hope that it can't be worse. Next part of why I think ESPN's sleeping on Jeanty. The play calling with Kubiak is going to be significantly better. I've covered the NFL for almost 10 years, 8 years plus at Chat Sports. I've never seen an offensive coordinator get an F grade when they put out the report cards, based on the players. Chip Kelly got an F. Chip Kelly was a terrible play caller. Pete Carroll did a horrible job just building around his entire offense with a really bad quarterback in Geno Smith. And because the quarterback play was so bad, it's going to be better this upcoming season. At least shit, man, it freaking better be, right? Whether it's Kirk Cousins, whether it's Fernando Mendoza, a better offense means more fantasy production for Ashton Jeanty. And I do expect him to get a heavy workload. Did Kubiak say that they're going to do a running back by committee of some sorts? Yes. But, that's still going to be a committee. That's going to be a run-first team. I mean, you're going to have Jeanty have over 300 touches this year. Lock it in. He's going to have over 300 touches. He had over 300 touches last year. And there's going to be a mix and a match of Mike Washington Jr. with a little bit of Ashton Jeanty. But even in a bad year, 266 carries, 975 yards. He had 5 rushing touchdowns. That long of 64. Probably should have been able to break more runs, but nobody could ever block for him. And then on top of that, he also added 55 grabs, 346 yards, 5 touchdowns. So you're looking at a player that had 1,321 total yards of offense, 10-plus touchdowns, and that's on the worst team in the National Football League in 2026 behind the worst offensive line. I mean, 83% of the rushing yards for Ashton Jeanty were after contact. That was by far the highest in the National Football League. I also saw this stat, and bear with me here. He was the only running back in the NFL with a total EPA, so this is expected points against, less than negative 35. So if you don't know what EPA is, so it's essentially what a running back or what a player is projected to do based on certain situations. So based on certain situations, the Raiders were the worst team in the NFL at running the football. So negative 64 EPA. The next closest running back had a negative 35. And I believe there was only a handful of running backs that were in the negatives. Ashton Jeanty was ranked 134th out of 134th because of the offensive line. That's how bad the situation was last season. But then on top of that, he had 40% of the Raiders' touchdowns. The Raiders scored 25 touchdowns last season. In comparison, the Seahawks with Clint Kubiak, they scored 51. You score 40% of 51 touchdowns, and I'm not saying that directly, but even if he scores 10 touchdowns again, right? 10 touchdowns again, Ashton Jeanty is going to be a top 10 running back in fantasy football. So when I saw the Brock Bowers and then the Jeanty hate from ESPN, I was just like, again, Fields my guy. I've gotten to know Matthew Berry over the years. I've gotten to know Field Yates over the years. But I was pretty disappointed in both of those rankings because I don't think that you're ranking Bowers. I don't think that you're ranking Jeanty. I think you're ranking those players because they're on the Las Vegas Raiders of the past. And Maybe I'm just a hopeful fan and it's the off season, but I do really believe that Bowers is the tight end 1 and Ashton Jeanty deserves to be a top 10 running back. And before I put a bow on this show, I'm going to say it one more time in case you didn't see it earlier. I fully support Fernando Mendoza and the decisions he's made because he has shown me that he is capable of always making the right and proper decision for his team and for Fernando Mendoza. If you don't know today's deals, if you want to get up here on the screen, yell at me, talk to me, ask me a question, super chat to do so. If you want a chance to win a little bit of money, $20 Venmo, Mitchell Renz 365. Right now, the last time that I checked, the race is now up to the winner would go home with $50. Michael Johnson, I got you in, and then I'm going to refresh again. I just saw Charles got it in. 20 to win, $60. Here on the Raiders Report. The more people that get in, the bigger the pot is. Also, I don't have any bangs today, though I did see Isaac threw up alley-oop. Oh, shit. All right, never mind. I lied. I'm a liar. I was like,
we lied.
Well, I haven't seen it, and then
I'm not saying, literally, you said that, I turn, I see red. I'm like, oh, shit.
Buh.
Someone actually double bang.
Buh. We'll let it load in. If y'all don't spam Bayou Raider down below, with all due respect, please go somewhere else. Bayou, man, you've been on an absolute tear, dude. Bayou Raider bang! The man that has banged more than anybody in the year of 2026.
He's double bang.
That's a double banger. We got Bayou Raider here, Bonnie Blue right there. I mean, there's a lot of banging.
Really close.
Bro, there's a lot of banging going on in the Bayou. Because of the emojis, I don't know why it looks that, but it says, "What's up, nation? Salute to Mount Raidermore." Mitch, always appreciate the content, brother. Hit that like button, and as always, go to Save a Warrior. If you don't know, go to saveawarrior.org/donate. Make sure you tell them that Father Tom sent you. That's LA Crash Dog. But Bayou Raider, our newest member of Mount Raidermore, again, dude, I've done this show for 8+ years. Your consistent dedication towards me, towards the show, but honestly, like most importantly, like towards Raider Nation. Again, like I don't think y'all even know the half of the stuff that Bayou's done behind closed doors. Again, not only for me, but for a lot of other Raiders, people that watch this show. He's always here to have a good time. I know that he enjoys the program. He at least I hope that you enjoy the program. But Bayou, dude, you know, I mean, are you watching the games tonight, Bayou? Maybe we'll have to do like a group. Alex, I don't know if you were here earlier, but Alex, she's got date night tonight with some of the girls.
So Mitch is free tonight for a little date night with Mount Raidermore.
So I'm free tonight for a little. Chuck and I are going to be down to hang out, watch some basketball. So if anybody from Mount Raidermore is down to get into a little bit of a call to watch some basketball games, let's freaking do it. Bayou, if you're down, man, you know, doing shit that you've been doing on this show, you can go put your Batman signal in that group chat for Mount Raidermore, and we'll see if we can get some peeps to show up. Who you got tonight? Spurs, Timberwolves.
Bayou's on a cruise. I hope you don't get that virus they're talking about.
Oh, no, he is actually on a cruise.
Don't get that virus.
Actually, it's funny that, honestly, Bayou, I'm kind of embarrassed that I totally forgot that you're on the cruise because he sent me, here, this is the cruise that he's on. He sent me literally literally sent me like 10 to 12 pics. The one beach photo that he sent me, I was like, again, I've never been on a cruise, and I've always said, like, I want to go on a cruise.
Dude, that's a nice-ass beach.
However, though, due to recent news, I'm like, I don't know if I want to go on a cruise.
I don't think I'll be on the cruise for a while. I won't be setting sail for a while.
Yeah, I mean, this one's got a basketball hoop on it. I mean, there's a giant...
Dude, there's, like, everything on that boat, it looks like.
Oh, actually, I didn't go to the last picture. He sent me a photo. He won... Well, I don't know if I'm even allowed to say how much money he won. Won a lot of money.
Did he bang?
On a slot machine.
Oh, he banged big time.
Yeah, I mean...
He banged the slot machine.
That's, he banged the slot machine. That's hilarious. Shout out to Bayou. Who do you guys got tonight? Spurs, Timberwolves. Talk to me. Where are we going?
Ooh, I think Wemby's coming back with a vengeance. Give me the Spurs tonight.
The game's in San Antonio, right?
It should be.
I believe.
No, Game 5? Yeah.
Game 5. So what, it's San Antonio, then Minnesota, and then San Antonio again? Yeah, give me the Spurs in this game. Because what? They went up. Were they up 2-0 or was it 1-1?
It was.
I think the Wolves won Game 1.
Yeah, Wolves won Game 1, Spurs tied, then won Game 2, and then Wolves won Game 4.
Yep, okay.
So kind of back and forth series so
far. Interesting. I mean, yeah, I'm probably going to go with the Spurs. I did agree that Wemby should have got ejected for his elbow.
Yeah, it was definitely warranted.
However, though, they also have been all over him the whole series. And
he did, I don't think he's fully in the wrong. I think if I'm a Spurs player / coach, I'm glad he did it. I'm like, hey, you asserted your dominance there.
But Wemby can't be the one that gets thrown out. Somebody else got to stand up for him.
It's more of a he set the tone now. Like, I elbowed you. I'm hoping you now get the message. Don't or take a step back when beating me up.
Well, see, like, if I'm a Wolves player, I'm coming at him again, right? Like, I mean,
take another elbow.
Absolutely. Yeah. You won Game 4. I mean, I don't think that they win Game 4 if Wemby's in that game. So, like, if I'm a player for the Wolves, if anything, I learned that I can get underneath your skin.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm going to try to do it. And that's where if you're the Spurs, you got to have that conversation with Victor. Like, hey, man, you're too important to this team. And if you see that the Wolves are kind of roughing up your best player, and I mean, let's face the facts here. He's 7'4", 7'5", can do everything on the basketball court. If there's a way to get under his skin, it's probably being a little bit physical with them. But like somebody from San Antonio today, if they lay a hand on him, I mean, you got to be willing to scrap a little bit. Like, you can't let your star player have that happen to him.
I imagine the NBA also is like, hey, we can't have this again, so make sure, like, hey, watch the calls, talking to the refs and all that.
Oh, I mean, he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable to watch. Truthfully.
I thought one of the funniest things was I don't think he knew that he was getting ejected. I don't think he knew what a flagrant 2 was. Did you see that video?
I saw him sitting down, and I saw him. He was just kind of like.
He asked his teammates, like, what's that mean? What's the flagrant 2 mean? He's like, oh, you're gone.
Yeah, you got to go. But, like, I'm happy that they didn't suspend him for Game 5.
Oh, they weren't going to do that.
I agree with you. I mean, if he would have been anybody else, not named Victor Wembanyama, maybe. Yeah. Maybe. But somebody from the Spurs tonight, you better have his back. But in the same breath, I'm kind of rooting for the Wolves. I like the lower seeds, and I don't watch the NBA all that much. Playoffs, I definitely do. But the Wolves, though, they've been to 3 straight Western Conference Finals, right?
3.
Oh, they're looking to get to 3.
They're going for 3.
I do think Spurs Thunder is the better series because I think that
the Spurs beaten the Thunder like 4 out of 5 times this year.
Oh, really? See, I didn't know that. That's really interesting.
The Spurs have kind of put it to the Thunder this year.
Ooh. See, I didn't know that. See, that makes me kind of root for San Antonio. I also, might be weird, but because I live down in Dallas, there's a weird rivalry, I would say, with San Antonio and Dallas. I don't really get into that. My wife doesn't like the Spurs for that reason, and I know some of the guys here at Chat Sports. Again, Chugs was like very much against the Spurs. So is Coop, very much against the Spurs. But because they have the same Raiders colors, they're silver and black.
Like, I'm kind of in.
I kind of root for them. And also, they have the best court in basketball when they're at home. The one where they do.
Court of the Fiesta one with like the rainbow.
Yes. I love it, dude. It's like the throwback. Like they have the yellow section. There's a pink section. It looks sick. I love it.
Shout out to the San Antonio Spurs fans and all fans that wear T-shirts at the playoff games. You make the atmosphere better. I know the Lakers tried doing it, and the fans wouldn't wear the T-shirts. You guys suck. If you don't wear the shirt, you suck.
Well, again, I think it's 2 different audiences. I think it's Hollywood and then San Antonio.
You're the problem.
So I do like. I mean, I watched.
Be a cool atmosphere.
I watched the whole documentary when I was in college. It was basically on like why the Lakers put like the spotlight on the court and they make everything dark. Mm-hmm. It was basically, again, like they're about selling. They're about the lights on, the cameras, Hollywood, and I mean, there's a lot of people that go to those games that probably don't want to wear that T-shirt. I mean, listen, I hear you. To me, if you're going to go to a game, you're going to go to a playoff game, go support your team.
Go full out.
But, yeah, ZNSBJ38, RIP, Brandon Clark, only 29 years old. I saw that earlier today. There was a basketball player. Again, I don't follow the NBA all that close.
Plays for the Grizzlies.
For the Grizzlies, he passed away today at 29. We still don't have.
There was an ESPN notification I got during that cut about something about it. Give me a second.
Okay. Again, I don't want to speak on behalf of anything I don't know about, but obviously for a 29-year-old to pass, something happened.
Via ABC News, they're saying possible drug overdose.
I mean, that's sad.
He did get arrested in April with drug charges.
Yeah, again, man, truthfully, if there's anybody that's ever watching the show and you're dealing with stuff that's just, like as a grown man, I always feel like I personally can handle my emotions. But then there are times where you just, if you were throwing a curveball or like you're just dealing with some stuff, you never know, dude. It can be. Again, I have had family members that have gone down some slippery slopes, and they need a good support system. So to anybody that's ever watching the show, again, if you ever need help, I'll tell you one guy, LA Crash Dog, like we always say, like go support Father Tom, like all that, but like. Truthfully, like there are people here that I promise you, they will have your back. So, very, very sad, very, very sad. All right, y'all. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to now transition to the next part of our show. I think both of us are going with the Spurs tonight, though. I think I'm gonna root for the Spurs. Though I'm probably just gonna root for my Prize Picks lineup. I'm gonna be honest with you. Truthfully, like in a good series, all I want, close game in the fourth quarter.
I need this series to go 7.
Get me to 7 games. Like this series, also even like the Pistons series. Like the Cavs.
Yeah, the Cavs are coming back. They're fighting now.
It's been Donovan Mitchell last night was So I didn't watch any of the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kicking myself in the ass because Alex, when I got home last night, Alex's mom and her sister, they were there. Alex's mom spent the night from Sunday. We did some batting cages for Mother's Day, so like the family was there when I got there, and because the family was there, I didn't plan on watching the Cavs and Pistons game. So then her mom and her sister, they ended up leaving, and I went to go look on Prize Picks for second half, and I was gonna go put some money with Donovan Mitchell because, again, like if I'm gonna watch a game, I want to be able to root. I want to be able to root for something. I want to be able to cheer something on, and I was rooting for the Cavs because. Our Browns host, J.O.D., he's been doing a lot of Cavs-Browns watch parties, so, like, I've been rooting for the Cavs. I was kicking myself in the ass yesterday because watching him just take over that game, if you have a Prize Picks lineup in and a guy's playing like that,
oh, my God.
I mean, it's like when you have, like, an actual, like, fantasy team and, like, your running back like, if you had Ashton Jeanty when he played the Houston Texans this past year and he's running for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns, you watch that game and you're like, that's an electric game. Raiders still lost, but, I mean, it was an electric football game, so... yeah. Better series, Cavs or Pistons, Spurs, Wolves. If you plan on watching either of them, though, I do hope that you go get a Prize Picks lineup in. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, let's talk about a perfect Raiders schedule. So, just to be clear, I have never done the show before. I've made a lot of videos in my time, and I was like, you know what? Let's just try to do something different. I hope that you guys never mind. I hope that you enjoy it. There's a part of me that's kind of like, this is a silly segment to do, but also in the same breath, like the NFL schedule release is probably the biggest thing going on right now around the National Football League. So I said, how can I put together a perfect Raiders schedule? And I'm going to go through and I'm going to tell you who I want the Raiders to play week 1, week 2, week 3, all the way up through week 18. I'll tell you when I want the bye week. I'm going to give you all the reasons why I have those in there, but do I think that this is going to actually be the Raiders' schedule? No, that's not the point. It's
if it is, you should buy a lottery ticket.
If you're right,
you got all 18 games.
Yeah, if this is all, if I'm 18 for 18, yeah, I'm going to buy a lottery ticket.
You have to.
Or I'm just going to put in like I think right now I have $175 on my Prize Picks
Putting
account.
It all on one.
I'm doing 175. We're going to go 6 demons. 175 on 6 demons. I'm actually curious what that would turn into.
You would own Prize Picks after.
Today's show is sponsored by Mitchell Renz. Use code 365. No, that would be wild. That would be wild. All right, let's get into the perfect Raiders schedule here. And again, if there's ever a point in the off season where you guys want me to do certain shows, holler at me. Like, truthfully, because I've done this show for so long, because, we've built such a cool relationship throughout the years, if there's, like, certain programs that you want to see, I really hope that I'm able to bring them to you. But I also just try to talk about top trending topics. I also try to talk about things that I enjoy talking about. So that's why I want y'all to subscribe. That's why I want you to stay up to date. But if true Raiders news ever does happen, I hope that you guys know I will talk about the true Raiders stuff before I try to predict a schedule. No, it'll be interesting. All right, let's go. Coming up, my Raiders' perfect schedule for 2026. You ready? Y'all ready to rock? Coming up, let's get into it, and then I'll be breaking down why each one is the way that it is right now here on the Raiders Report. Coming up here on the Raiders Report, presented by Prize Picks, the perfect Raiders schedule for 2026. I looked at all of the home opponents. I looked at all of the road opponents, and I came up with what I would believe is the best schedule possible for the Clint Kubiak Raiders this upcoming season. If you don't know, the NFL schedule release is going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, May 14th. I will be live hours before that time, and I will actually give you the Raiders schedule and the entire NFL schedule way before that, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on. But just a little FYI, this is not a Raiders schedule leak. This is me just putting together a schedule that I am hoping for as a fan. If you don't know the Raiders' 2026 home games, they are as followed here up on screen. Obviously, it's Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, the AFC West. And then Bills, Dolphins, Rams, Seahawks, Titans. And I will also say, based on the early rumors, kind of sounds like that Buffalo might be that week 1 game for the Raiders. The 2026 away games, obviously, again, AFC West. And because we have 9 away and 8 home games, just something to keep in mind. But, every time I say that out loud, I also look at the fact that we play the Chargers in Los Angeles. And, that's basically a home game for the Las Vegas Raiders. So because I'm making this video on May 12th, I'm live right now on this show, I don't know who the Raiders are going to be playing week 1. And, thinking about the perfect schedule is kind of a silly video to do, but I'm just like all of y'all, and at this point in the offseason, I want Raiders games to get it going. So you let me know down below, who do you want the Raiders to play week 1? The team that I'm hoping the Silver and Black play week 1? Maybe it's boring, but you know what's not boring? Winning football games. And I watched the Raiders last year walk into Foxborough against the New England Patriots and come away with a win. They beat the AFC champs. They beat the team that lost in the Super Bowl. The reason why I want to play the New England Patriots, though, week 1 is because, yes, you beat them last year. That's important. But then there's also this Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini. There's a lot of drama around that situation, and I wonder if that's some extra drama that's just going to continue to lead into the season. And if they're not fully focused on the Raiders, I do believe that gives us another opportunity to get that week 1 win in New England. Let's go to week 2 here for the Las Vegas Raiders, and I want to go up against the Denver Broncos. Why? You're able to get Denver on a short week. They play the Kansas City Chiefs Monday Night Football in week 1. So we get one extra day of being well rested. And also, Sean Payton historically has been worse in September. A lot of his teams get off to some of these slower starts, and he's actually got a pretty damn close to a 500 record in the month of September. So because of that short week, Peyton's teams typically struggle. Get Bo Nix early. We'll see how healthy he is on that ankle. Give me the Broncos in week 2. Let's now go to week 3. Geno Smith, the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium. I want to go up against Geno. I just want to see that game. And I would imagine by this point in the season, Smith has not been benched yet. I am worried that the later and later that Jets game gets released, there's a chance that we don't get that opportunity to go up against Geno. And whether it's a revenge game for him or not, I want that opportunity for the Raiders to go out and hit him. I can't wait to watch that game. So I want to play the New York Jets week 3 after a tough division game. So which then brings me to week 4. I want to go at San Francisco. There's been some speculation if the Raiders could potentially be that Mexico City game with the 49ers. I'll just say this. I spoke to a source at the Super Bowl in the Bay, and that was a few months ago. Obviously, things can change. Things change all the time in the NFL, but they made it pretty clear to me that they wanted the Raiders in the Bay to be going up against the San Francisco 49ers, so that's kind of where I'm leaning. Also, I saw this stat. Kyle Shanahan, 49ers regular season, The only month of the entire calendar where he has a losing record in his career, 16-22, is the month of October. That's the very first game in the month of October. Let's go to week 5 now for the Raiders, and let's go up against the Los Angeles Rams. And no doubt about it, like the Rams, it's going to be a difficult schedule. No doubt about it. They're always going to be a tough team, but you get to stay on the West Coast. Also, I saw that Matthew Stafford's lowest winning percentage ever is also in the month of October. I'll get into week 6 here in just a moment, but whether you're watching the Raiders, you want a season-long lineup, or you're going to be watching them the week to week, if you plan on watching the silver and black, especially with me this year, you better go get started with our sponsor, Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app out there. If you're wondering if it's easy to play, the answer to that is yes. You pick 2 to 6 player stats, and if you get your picks right, you can watch the winnings roll in. Download the Prize Picks app today with the link that's going to be down in the comments and in the description. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. And speaking of being right, I know that this is a Raiders show, but I plan on watching some basketball action. Whether you want to watch the Spurs and Wolves or whether you're trying to watch the Pistons and the Pistons and the Cavs, or shout out to Lopez for throwing this lineup at me, because the other reason why I love Prize Picks, and I'm not trying to take away from women's basketball, but truthfully, the only way you're going to get me to watch probably a women's basketball game at this point is if I have a Prize Picks lineup in. So this is a $10 lineup to win $67.50. And I love watching basketball games, and I'm not like the guy that knows too much about hoops, but if I know I can put some extra money in my pocket, that makes me want to watch that game so much more. So if you're also that fan, and we were even yelling, I was talking to Yoda Jenkins when we were live on the Raiders Report on Tuesday, and he was like, I like to watch hockey. Hockey, women's basketball, I don't care if it's a sport, you get a Prize Picks lineup in, and you're going to love watching that game that much more. So I'm going to yell at you one more time here. Sign up for Prize Picks with code HMA and get $50 in lineups instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. And I see Big Raz and Yoda Jenkins are showing their love and support to Prize Picks down in the comments. Let's go to week 6 now, and it's going to be on the road against the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, anytime you're going to L.A., that's essentially a home game. And I thought it would be kind of cool to play both teams that are at SoFi. Now, again, you play the Rams at home, but then you're going to be playing the Chargers on the road in Los Angeles in week 6. And the way that I figured it would work out is I wanted to have some tough games, because you think about it, 49ers, that's a tough game. Rams, that's a tough game. Chargers, that's a tough game. So for week 7, I wanted a easier matchup for the Raiders. So what I decided to do here is I decided to go with the Miami Dolphins. And because it was a tough stretch of 3 games, let's get an easier matchup in there. But then also, I had it sandwiched between 2 division rival games. So then again, we're going up against the Denver Broncos yet again in week 8 on the road in Denver. So because you're going up against the Denver Broncos, that sandwich between those AFC West games, I want that game between those AFC West games to be a little bit easier on that side. Then we go to week 9. It's going to be the Las Vegas Raiders bye week. And the fact that you have this bye week helps you prepare for Denver a little bit more. Bye week ends up rolling in, which then week 10 happens. I actually should also point out, this is right around the NFL trade deadline. You're going to be able to find out if you're buyers or you're sellers. And for a team like the Raiders, having that week 9 bye, I do think is a really, really good way for you to kind of position yourself also for 2027, but also for a easier back end of the schedule. I tried to front load this schedule. I really tried to do. It's a tough schedule for the Raiders. Let's go to week 10 now. On the road against the Chiefs. You give yourself that extra week. You give yourself that time to get that extra preparation to go up against Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid. Now, I'm hoping that the Chiefs don't have a week 9 bye, but for me, I looked at it as I got AFC West opponent, easier game. AFC West opponent, bye week. Extra preparation for the Kansas City Chiefs. That, to me, in my mind, made a lot of sense. If you don't know, I will be live for the NFL schedule release this upcoming Thursday. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on. But then also, I will be live for every single Raiders game this upcoming season. If you can't make it to a game and you want to hang out with me and Raider Nation, I hope that you pull up and you show up, because the reason why the Raiders Report is the #1 most watched Raiders show on planet Earth is because we started doing watch parties during COVID time back in 2019. And I hope that people can see the passion that we bring here, because we try to go Oakland style every single game on game day. Let's go to Week 11 up against the Buffalo Bills. This is another very, very tough matchup. And then if you're talking about tough matchups, I look at history. Josh Allen has 11 career losses in November. It's the most by any month. So because of that, typically some of those Buffalo teams and all great NFL teams, they kind of have that rough patch. And I feel like every single year when you watch Buffalo led by Josh Allen, they always have a little bit of a rough patch in the middle of the year. This usually happens in November, December time. So give me Josh Allen Week 11. Then you have a tough game against Buffalo. Well, then let's keep it a little bit easier on the West Coast against the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm trying to keep the travel to a little bit of a minimum here, but you got a new head coach in Matt LaFleur, so you get to see exactly what he's doing a little bit more. And I don't know, I almost wonder, who's going to be the quarterback there for Arizona? Maybe by that time it's Carson Beck. And if it's Carson Beck Week 12, maybe up against Fernando Mendoza, I don't know. I saw last time how Mendoza and Carson Beck worked out. I'd like to see that again. Then Week 13, up against the Kansas City Chiefs. So because you got Kansas City in Week 13, I was hoping for a little bit of a easier matchup. But again, based on travel time, teams flying around the country, that's close, that's close, that's close. A lot of West Coast. Arizona and both of those games in Las Vegas. Let's now go to Week 14. And I have the Cleveland Browns on the road against Cleveland. I hope that this game, the weather conditions are the way I want Cleveland to look in December. And I say that because I want the Raiders to be a run-first team. I want them to play a FU brand style of football. And I think that translates really well in Week 14. You got a brand new head coach there in Todd Monken. Would like to see what he looks like and what he's going to try to do. But then also, you're going to have Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders debates, and the more and more debates that we can get by Week 14, I don't know, I think it makes it a little bit more interesting for this Raiders team. Before we round out my perfect Raiders schedule in 2026, presented by Prize Picks, if you haven't noticed, I am rocking my 2026 Raiders draft class shirt, and if there's anybody out there that wants to wear the shirt that I have on, if you go to chatsports.com/RR shop, we got hoodies, we got t-shirts, we got pint glasses if you want some beer. If you're watching me live, I've been sipping out of my Raiders Report glass. We got 4 different glasses. We got 4 different coffee mugs. Whether you're trying to start your morning with the Raiders Report or if you're trying to get your weekend kicked off the right way, if you appreciate the program and if you appreciate everything that my team and I do, that link down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Yeah, you're damn right we're freaking Kubiak, man. Feels good to be back. Let's go to Week 15. Speaking of Kubiak, you get your little bit of a revenge game against the Seattle Seahawks, and this is right before Christmas. I am a believer, and I say this only because I've talked to NFL players in years past. They like to be near home during the holidays. So the way that I also figured out this perfect Raiders schedule was this date is going to be right around like December 20. It's like December 20th, I believe, is technically right around this date. So Clint Kubiak gets to stay home, gets to go up against his old team right around the holidays. So because it's right around the holidays, let's go back-to-back games in Las Vegas, which I think will make our team very happy and a lot of the players. And we're going up against the Tennessee Titans. And I tried to make the back end of this schedule a little bit easier. Obviously, I'm hoping we make the playoffs. Obviously, I hope that we got this thing trending in the right direction. But I almost wonder if Tennessee at this time, could they be tanking? Yes, I know that they have Cam Ward. But also at the same time, you got a brand new head coach, got a brand new organization. And if that team isn't sold on Cam Ward by this point, could they be looking to take another quarterback, #1 overall? Another team that I wonder if they're going to be doing that exact same thing is the New Orleans Saints. This game's going to be in New Orleans, but are they going to be in tank for arch mode? Are they going to be trying to look at a brand new future quarterback? I know they have Tyler Shuck, but is he the guy? I'm not 100% sure. I think that the Saints are a team that some people are going to be sleeping on a little bit, but also in the same breath, when you look at all the opponents on this roster, I think being able to go to New Orleans around this time of the year might be a little bit emotional for Jack Besh. If you don't know, look it up. But I think that that's going to be a really cool opportunity also to be able to go to New Orleans right around New Year's. And then Week 18, let's put a bow on this bad boy. At home against the Chargers. I will say out of the years that I've done this program, and I've done a lot of really, really cool watch parties in my day, my favorite watch party of all time was the Raiders timeout to beat the Chargers. They could have tied to go to the playoffs. I remember how excited I was. I remember how nervous I was for that game. And to be able to clinch a playoff spot, maybe even win the AFC West. I know, I can dream. It's May. But, maybe, right? Maybe. Week 18 against the Chargers, that's the game that I want. Because I also know that Justin Herbert doesn't win in big-time games. And if we can play Justin Herbert in a big-time game, Week 18, sounds like a better opportunity for the Raiders to get a dub. So after going through my Raiders' perfect schedule, do I think that this is going to be the schedule? Truthfully, no. I do not. But what I do know is I have a lot of hope for this team, and I'm hoping that we can be right around the 9-8 win range. And if that's not enough for you, well, then I don't think you've watched the Raiders for too many years. I just want this team to get going on the right track, and that's really where I'm hoping and I'm sitting around for. If you guys want to give me a follow on social media, just like on Prize Picks, I'm at MitchellRenz365. But whether it's on YouTube, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter, when Raiders news happens, I got you covered. When Raiders schedule gets released, I got you covered. But if you are a diehard fan that you don't care if it's May, June, or July, give me a follow. It's 100% free. And if you don't like what you see after a week or two, unfollow, unsubscribe. I just don't think that that's going to happen. So one more time, here is my perfect Raiders schedule for 2026 presented by Prize Picks. I really tried to make the first half of this schedule more difficult. I tried to add some of those away games early on, then to, kind of split up some of those AFC West games with that bye week. And then it never really gets all that easier. I will say the month of December and January for my perfect schedule is probably the easiest slot of games, but I want to be going in the right direction in the most important time of the year, and I think that this is a perfect schedule for the Las Vegas Raiders based on all the reasons that I have outlined here on today's show. Shout out to all of y'all out there. I see Taino says 10. Sherlock says 8 to 9. What do you guys think? You guys like my perfect schedule? Again, it's kind of when I say an eye roll show, I hope that you don't get mad at me saying that, but it's just because I like to give predictions based on actual knowledge around the team. Because we don't know anything yet around the schedule, I said, I think it'd be fun. Let's give it a shot. If you like the video, I'll find out in a few weeks, or I guess a few days. But if you guys like it, maybe we'll do it again. Raider Leaf says 8 to 9. Heart of Blaze is going to go with a 9. Slurricane is going to go with an 8. Grave 420. 8 wins for the Raiders. I would love, and I mean love, for a 9-win season, dude. 10 wins, could you imagine? Oh, my goodness. I just want to be a competitive football team every single week, and I want to be playing competitive football in December and January. That's what I want. As a Raiders fan, I would sign up for that right now. I would sign up for that right frickin' now. Somebody just asked me, what's the duck race at? The last time that I looked, the duck race was at $60, and if you want a chance to get in, $20 Venmo. Can you show the QR code for me? At MitchellRenz365, if you're like, what the hell is a QR code? It's going to be a box. You get out your camera. You hover over it. You hover over that box right there. There's going to be a little link that pops up. You click on that link. You can add me as a friend if you'd like, but if you want to try to win some money, right now it's a $20 Venmo for a shot to win $60 here on the Raiders Report. 20 to win, 60. Haywood says, I agree at this point. I think 7 or 8 wins. I mean, somebody actually laughed at me the other day here at Chat Sports because I was like, I would do some weird shit for a 10-win season. I would do some weird-ass shit for a 10-win season, man. This might be bad to say. It's not that I don't want the Raiders to win, but I want Raider Nation deserves a 10-win season way more than any of those players do. Maybe that's an unfair thing for me to say, but I believe it, and I will stand 10 toes on that statement. And if there's any Raiders players that are upset about that statement, I don't know. You know where to find me. I'm not a hard person to find. Not a hard person to find. All right, y'all. I don't believe we have any other Super Chats that I see. I did plan on staying live today until 5 o'clock my time, so that's another 20 minutes. So if you guys want to be able to get some extra questions in If you want to be able to get some extra comments in, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat, we'll stay live until 5. If we don't get anything else, I'll run this duck race, and then Lopez and I will peace out, and we'll get ready to watch some NBA action tonight.
Yeah, I really need Angel Reese to get all of those rebounds.
What time does that game tip off?
I don't know.
Let me see here. What team does she play for?
The Atlanta Fever? Or no, that's India. The Atlanta Dream? The Atlanta team. They play the Wings tonight. I know that. She is in Dallas tonight.
All right, hang on. Dallas Wings. Game starts at 7 p.m. Eastern time. The Atlanta Dream versus the Dallas Wings. Okay.
What's the get-in price for
that? Let me look on SeatGeek. I mean,
before you look, what is the most that you would pay to go watch this?
The most that I would pay?
Yes.
I'm like, I don't even know if I should answer that.
Totally off the record here.
Oh, boy. I mean, like, truthfully, like, I would love. I mean, I wanted to go watch Caitlin Clark play, and she could shoot the rock.
I did see her once in college because when they played LSU, they sent us here to cover it with when I was at LSU. She didn't do that great. It was an off game for her.
Well, dude, the ticket prices are like, they're insane.
For
when she came here to Dallas.
Yeah, it was the Final Four.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. But even like she had an NBA. She had a WNBA game.
Oh, I did not look at tickets for that game.
Hang on. All right, so I'm on. Yeah, I'll tell you what. They're looking for 2 tickets. Cheapest ticket I can find right now, $75.
Dude, I'm gonna have to hit my PrizePicks lineup just so I can go see Angel Reese next time she's here.
See, I'm happy I didn't say how much I would pay because it
would not have been $75.
It's not gonna be $75. I'm not gonna lie to you. Again, like, I hope that nobody gets mad at me for that statement, but I will always be honest with you. There's no chance in hell I'm paying $75 to go watch them play. No chance. No, I'll say that I don't even think I'd pay $75 to go watch the Mavs play.
Yeah, it depends on who they're playing.
Yeah, that I agree with. It would 1,000,000% depend on who I can go see.
Yeah, I don't think there's any WNBA game where I would pay $75.
I would pay $75 to go watch Caitlin shoot. I would. Like, to me, I want to go watch her shoot. I want to see her put some buckets up. I would pay to see that.
So then in like this scenario, say it's like Caitlin Clark versus the Aces. I know they're like the back-to-back, maybe.
I would love to actually go to an Aces game. I would like to see Asia play.
So that'd be like 75 to 100, and you would be like, that's fine.
Probably.
Okay.
Though I wouldn't tell my wife because
I would just be like, hey, we're supporting women's sports.
I mean, she would probably like to go, but she'd probably rather watch like a Mavs game. And again, she's like more like Dallas, like Mavs. Also, is this Isaac throwing down his own alley-oop?
Yes.
I believe so. Isaac threw one up a few hours ago, and then off the backboard. Bang! Isaac Hernandez. Let's freaking go, dude. He just said, let's effing go. Isaac, Mendoza or Cousins tomorrow? Who you going with? Mendoza or Cousins tomorrow? Who you going with?
Just know it's a hell of a game. So if you are free tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
So you know the game.
Tune in. Yes, it was literally right by my desk.
Okay.
We were locked in.
I heard you guys yelling. I heard you guys yell the one time, and I started to go, la, 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 because I just don't want to hear the game. Because, again, like I want to react just like all of y'all. It's real. It's in the moment. Truthfully, I hate saying it, like, I'm going to root for Mendoza tomorrow. I want Fernando. I'm trying not to see he's like.
I didn't even say nothing.
I know. I don't want to look at your body language. I don't look at nothing.
I will say the weirdest part was watching Team Raiders in black, Team Raiders in white, and I had to remember who's on which team. I'm like, I didn't know what quarterback was winning until I sat down and watched for a couple minutes.
All right, so is Mendoza, was he home or away?
He was in white, I believe.
All right, so they were the away team in Allegiant. Was the game at Allegiant? I guess.
No, they were playing in snowy Cleveland, actually.
Snowy Cleveland. I mean, the last time I saw Raiders versus Raiders action was, shout out to Taino. It was we went to like a joint practice, not joint practice, but like a practice. It was at Allegiant Stadium. I still actually remember the day. It was Wednesday, August 14th. I just do. And it was Zahn was there, Taino was there. We met up with a bunch of Raiders fans, man. That would be sick to be able to do something like that again. I'd love actually to be able to do something like that again. Oh my goodness. The Weldinator! Bang! Weldinator. What's going on, man? Raiders. What's up, Mitch? This has been a hectic week for me. Yeah, I saw on your Instagram you were like replacing a window or something like that. I know you just started a business, so congratulations to you. Can't wait for the schedule release. That Niners versus Raiders game in the Bay is going to be crazy. I will say this to anybody out there that plans on going to that game, please be responsible. Be safe, I love a good rivalry, and I appreciate a good rivalry. And I'm not from the Bay, I'm not from that area, and I know like the hatred is very, very much deep. But I would also like the opportunity for the Raiders to go out and play in the Bay more often. So let's make sure that you can heckle. Let's just make sure we're smart. I got the Spurs winning tonight and the Pistons tomorrow.
Ooh.
Well, the Pistons go back home, right? Yeah, Pistons go back to Detroit because Detroit, they were up 2-0. Cavs won both of their games. I mean, I want the Pistons to win that series because I think Pistons-Knicks will be a lot better to watch because I believe Marshall dislikes the Pistons more, and I think Knicks-Pistons is I remember watching that series last year. It was it was a physical series.
It'll be a real kick in the nuts, though, if the Pistons beat the Knicks for Marshall Green.
Yeah. I mean, whoever I think – and the Knicks are playing good ball, though. Are the Pistons and Cavs all that much different?
The Pistons are a more physical team. They have been better throughout the regular season.
Okay. What's crazy is they were down 3-1 to the Magic.
That is something to also look at. One of the things is, though, their star, Cade Cunningham, he was coming back from a collapsed lung, so he was still figuring that out. And then I guess
he's been much
clicked.
Better.
Yes, it has clicked, it seems like.
Yeah, there was one shot that I saw him put up. I forget what game it was. He just came down the court, pulled up, it banged in. It was late. It was a late shot. To have that type of confidence in a big time game like that, where you're like, the offense is going to be me coming down the court, I'm pulling up from three.
Yeah, stop me.
That's got to be an unbelievable feeling. Shout out to the Weldinator. Weldinator, one of the OGs here on this program, always showing up and showing out. Appreciate you, my dog. I'm going to be rooting for the Spurs tonight, and I'll be probably rooting for the Pistons tomorrow, so we're on the same page there. Let's go to Excavator. I've heard a lot of good things about Zeke Massis. So Zeke Massis, cornerback from Cal. Raiders ended up drafting him round 5, 175 overall. And I agree. What's cool is, I always do so many mock drafts leading up until the actual draft. Zeke was probably one of the top players that I had in a lot of my mocks, and he's such a good zone fit player. I will admit, this is also probably the best time of the year for him to be able to show up because I don't know how often flags are going to be coming out. He's a little bit of a grabby player. He can make plays on a football. But what I respect about Massis, and the more and more that I read about him, which is why I had him on a lot of my mocks, was because he's just been doubted his entire NFL career. He's not a great athlete by any stretch of the imagination. He's a much better athlete than what he gets credit for. I remember when I first started reading about him and hearing about him, people were like, he's an okay athlete. I'm like, dude ran a 4.41 40-yard dash. Which, again, 40 times aren't everything, but 4.41. I heard, he doesn't have a lot of speed. He is a little bit grabby, though. So, because it's shorts and T-shirts and because he's not the most physical player, I'm going to say a guy, and I hope that people don't get upset with the guy that I'm going to say. Some people might like it. Some people might not. A player like Jack Jones, where Jack Jones wanted no part of any physicality. He was not having it. He did not want to bring any type of physicality. He didn't want to block. But when he had his A game, you could tell that he was a really good player. And that's kind of sometimes when I watch Zeke play, it's very similar to when he's got his game going, he's got that confidence and swagger, he's a hell of a football player. when you want him to make a tackle or when he loses a little bit of that confidence, he just gets really handsy. He gets really grabby. Again, I'm not saying that their style of play is not the same, but a little bit of the similarities when I was watching Zeke. Again, like I've watched so much more Raiders than I've watched any other thing. So I make some of those, I guess, instant thoughts to that. Yoda, Donkeys versus the Queefs, Monday Night Football. I'm rooting for the refs. I'm rooting for a tie, Yoda. That's going to be a game, no doubt about it. I'm rooting for a tie. But, hey, week 1, Monday Night Football, you got Patrick Mahomes coming off an ACL, going up against Bo Nix coming off that ankle injury. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I hope the Raiders are 1-0 going into that game. It'll make it a lot more fun. That I can promise you. All right, y'all. I'm looking down below. I believe we are all caught up on all of our super chats.
Yep.
So here is... Oh, wait. Bayou just texted me.
Ooh.
He goes, watching the channel when I can. Oh, he just sent me a whole bunch of new photos from his
cruise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. This cruise looks nice. I want to go on a cruise. Maybe not now. Maybe in a little bit.
Maybe you wait a year or two.
Though you can make the argument right now might be the best deal for a cruise.
It's like, I guess, but like, how much are you willing to pay to possibly get the hantavirus?
Yeah.
Like, what's your number?
What number are we talking about? What number are we talking about? All right, y'all. Final chance to get in our duck race here. It's a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365 if you're trying to get it in. If you're trying to get it in, obviously, if we get any more questions, comments, you already know, I will stay live. But to all y'all out there, Raider Dad 1969, shout out to Funk Raider. How's the Tokyo Toe coming along? I haven't heard anything from any of my guys on the Tokyo Toe in a little while, so I don't know exactly. Also, like, media hasn't been allowed to get in there. Like, their media won't be allowed to get to Raiders practice again until OTA start, which is the 18th. Yo, Mitch, have you seen the channel? No, I have not. I will check it out, though. Again, not to be rude, but I do try to check out some channels. Unfortunately, I had some people that I think did me wrong throughout the years, so I don't pay attention as much as I used to. But if there are ever players that, like, you know, want to, or players, if there are, like, other content creators that want to work with me, I do, like, want to work with other content creators. But, no, I have not seen it. I can check it out, though. I do see some more people getting in this race. My dad actually is one of them. What up, Dad?
He likes his odds today.
Shout out to Papa Renz. I got Bayou. Bayou gets a few ducks in this race. And then also Husker Raider. We are now up to a $20 Venmo. It's going to send you home with $110 if you are the winner. What's one player you're really rooting to succeed this year from One Shot? One player like I'm really, really rooting for to succeed? I mean, shit, man, there's so many. Can I pick Fernando? Can I pick Fernando? Can I pick Jeanty?
I hope AI was right about Fernando.
All right, let me give an off-the-wall answer. Let me go with, like, can I get a Tonka Hemingway? Can I get a Traden Stukes? Like, to me, I expect certain guys to be great. Like, I expect Bowers to be great. I expect Ashton Jeanty to be great. What about, like, Jack Besh? Like, imagine if Jack Besh ends up looking like a receiver that was unbelievable and that we should have taken in round 2. Honestly, Dante Thornton Jr., like, I feel bad for kind of speaking the way that I have about Dante because I know he's such a good dude, and I know, like, he's just so well-liked in that locker room, but he struggled last season. If he could put it together at 6'5" with that speed, I mean, that's a really, really good athlete, so I'm probably going to be rooting for him as well. Heart Ablaze. I don't know. I don't know what that means. STU? That's just Stu? I don't know.
Maybe you're not a fan of Stu.
I thought you were like, at first I was like, I thought it stood for shut up, but Heart Ablaze, he's been here a while. Honestly, Matt Louis, Linderbaum. I mean, you're right. For what we paid Tyler Linderbaum, I hope we look at him and we're like, that's our center for the next 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, I want him to be that guy for a really long time where it's, when we talk about Clint Kubiak, we talk about Kubiak, Jeanty, Bowers, Mendoza, Tyler Linderbaum. Like those are the players that really helped us getting going in the right direction. So we'll see. Keon Crawford's another really good one there, Frosty. Another really good one. All right, y'all. Sherlock, shout out to my beautiful wife, Angela. I think you have a duck race habit. You know, Sherlock, it's funny. One of my favorite things when I watch and when I see people like send ducks in for the race is how oftentimes it's like from either a significant other's account or like somebody's account that's not yours. But Angela, she's been racing a lot. And I'll say this, if Angela or anybody else is trying to get in the race, I think our pot has just doubled. So I got Gabriel Ruiz. He just got himself 3 ducks. All right, Gabriel. I see Matt Fluhey got himself a duck. What up, Fluhey? Johnny B. Good just got himself a bunch of ducks. And then also the Night Devil just got himself a duck. 20 to win, $210 right now here on the show. 20 to win, $210 here on the program. Final call to get it in. Final call to get it in. And if you don't know, I will be live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time for a little Raiders Madden watch party. And then after the game, I'll probably stay live. I'll probably talk. I'll probably answer some more questions, some comments, all that type of good jazz. We'll talk about, because I'll say this. We're going to talk about, if Mendoza wins, if Cousins wins, it's going to be interesting because it's going to really just dictate how we're going to do the entire Raiders Madden season. And don't get me wrong. If Mendoza wins, I probably won't bench him. Just to be clear, in my mind, I am going to try to keep it somewhat realistic. Because if the Raiders do start Mendoza week 1, there's no chance you're benching him. No chance you're benching him. Now, if Cousins is the one that ends up winning tomorrow and he starts, then we can have conversations. Now, if the Raiders start off hot in Madden, I'm not going to just bench him. But if they start off slow, I'll probably put out the idea of, is it time to go to Mendoza? So just something to keep in mind. All right, final refresh here. I got all the names in. I'm looking, and now we got a few extra people that decided to get in. I see Wolverine X-Men, Kevin Chow, Rustin Long, Jaime Portillo again, and then Fabiola. You in. 20 to win, $260. I believe I have given ample amount of time. So once we get all these in, we're going to run this race. And then I will hop on out of here today. And you guys will see me tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Which I'm kind of nervous for that Madden game. What on earth are we? This is a race. All right, let's do it.
It said women's race. And I thought that would be on brand for today's show.
Angel Reese.
Exactly. We're supporting women's sports here. So.
I don't know.
Spam W for women if you want your woman to run faster.
With all due respect, are these...
I'm telling you what the race said.
Oh, all right, I'm not going to get canceled today on a Tuesday. 3, 2, 1. Let's freaking run this thing. Winner's going to go home with $260 here on the Raiders Report.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. I might have pressed the wrong button because I don't see any women in this.
I was going to say, if this is...
I think I hit a wrong button, guys. That one's on me.
I don't think that this is...
Still spam your W's, though.
Run, Rudolph. Charles G is in a very interesting spot. Gabriel Ruiz, Husker Raiders, starting to fall back here a little bit. Philip Bogart there at the very top. Wolverine X-Men's not even breaking a sweat right now. This is, how long do you think this race is? How many meters? This is back and forth. Could you imagine an actual race that was this back and forth? Dude, Johnny B. Good. Johnny B. Good might be starting to pull away here a little bit.
Johnny might be great.
Johnny might be great.
Be great, Johnny.
Rustin Long, watch out for him. 6 seconds. Who's going to go home with $260? Somebody's got to be able to make a move. Somebody's got to make a move. Gabriel at the end. And he's literally running away with it. Gabriel Ruiz with the dub. Gabriel Ruiz with the dub. Gabriel, if you could please confirm that you just received 260 doll hairs. It's a lot of doll hairs. 260 going to Gabriel.
What the hell?
I mean, that was a hell of a race. Oh, okay. So now I see your options.
Well, I hit women. Like, it was on this. Like,
I mean, I believe you.
Like, see, it's the same people.
What if you...
What's this one do? Okay, these are the same people. Nothing is changing.
Jaime Pro Tillo. Yeah, I mean,
these are the same people.
I'm gonna be honest.
Changing.
I don't...
We are being lied to.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna do any dating at this duck race event. If you're single, you don't want to go to this race because I can't help you finding anyone. I can't help you, man. Beers on Gabriel. Confirmed good sir from God family and Raiders for life. Awesome, awesome. LA Crash Talk just got out of the eye doctor. Did the eye doctor, I mean, do you have 20/20, LA? Because maybe you could help us tell us that. I think that this is a little bit crazy right now. A little bit crazy. All right, fam. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for always tuning in to Tuesday Raiders Report shows. Even though it's the off season, May, June, July, there might not always be a lot of Raiders content. But if there's one thing that I can promise you my team's always going to try to do here is we're going to try to have fun. We're going to talk about the Raiders, and we're always going to do our thing. Make sure you guys pull up tomorrow. Mendoza up against Kirk Cousins. Can you show that one real quick before we hop on out of here? Mendoza up against Kirk Cousins. If you want to let me know one last time who you got, 15 or 8, please do so. But I'm going to be live tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and this is going to be our first Madden game to see who's going to be the Raiders starting quarterback once the season gets underway. I will be live on Thursday for the Raiders schedule release, and I will be live again for Raiders Friday Happy Hour. Hopefully you don't mind 4 live shows this week on the program. From me, from Lopez, we're going to be watching some NBA games tonight, and if you plan on watching some basketball as well, make sure you get a Prize Picks lineup in. That link is going to be down in the comments, down in the description. We're going to pin it to the end of this live show, so put your money where your mouth is. We're a Spurs tonight?
Yes.
Spurs tonight, and Angel Reese more on those rebounds.